Salutations, dear viewers. Sorry if the audio quality on this one is poor, but I think this is probably the cheapest win I have ever gotten, and it bears mentioning because god damn was I laughing so hard after it had happened, because it kind of highlights the problem with the player base of this game, the fact that outside of the fancy Fortnite building bullshit, and yes, the cap on expletives is off for this video, just FYI. Oh, aside from the building bullshit, um, like, okay, so I'm in Oceania, so you're not talking about a fantastic player base that's great at, thinking on the move. Um, I'm not I'm not speaking that that's because they're from Oceania, it's just that from what I've seen, they don't have the vehement dedication to this game that there is in the West, or indeed other locations. The point I want to make is that at the end of the game, they started turtling. They started turtling, mind you, when I had something that could bore through everything they possibly threw at me. It is part of the reason why, so long as Epic doesn't totally fuck this season by patching everything out, because it would have to be everything, there is so much that the sweats would claim is broken this season. So long as they don't patch everything out, this is probably the first step in making Fortnite less than a one-trick pony, because the means of countering builds have gone into space. Pun intended. Now, I had gone into Oceania for a challenge, and it wasn't particularly difficult, but I kept dying in North America East, and I had been running random squads a lot in NA East, and my word of warning to you right now is don't. Because random squads in NA East are 90% trolls, because a lot of the new stuff can also be used for trolling the shit out of your teammates. I mean, I had a guy tractor beam me at least a half a dozen times and hurl me away from loot so that he could grab it. There's also these new quantum space chests, whatever they are, that the whole team has to work together to open. I had a guy basically walk up, hit it, walk away, and then start dancing on the rest of the team so that they couldn't open the chest. So, if you're North America East and you're not playing with your friends, don't play with randoms. You want to run a squads match outside of NA East, be my guest. Maybe you'll have friendlier people in North America West, although, considering that the stereotypical West Coast sensibility's even worse than the East Coast sensibility, I wouldn't count on that. So, new additions, and I did record a video highlighting, like, the new stuff that's in the game, but I'm probably not going to upload that because most of it's here, and I did want to highlight this. The new stuff includes the railgun, which burrows through builds and can damage enemies on the other side. Like, I mean, it's literally my Excalibur, my holy grail. That is probably the weapon I have been hoping and praying for in Fortnite from the beginning, was something that could just blast somebody's brains out through a build. And the railgun does that. We have an alien space rifle that has unlimited ammo, which is, fine. It's not super great. But we also have the, tracker grenade launcher, which is like the flare, only so much better or worse, depending on whether you're the one doing the tracking or you're the one being tracked. But by far, the most broken thing this season, and also the most fun, is the flying saucers. Now, broken is putting it strongly. It's very easy to shoot them down. In fact, you can even snipe the guy inside of it, provided you crack the saucer's own shield. Kind of like the brute cockpit shields back in the day. I mean, it's only a matter of time before somebody who's been playing this longer than I have draws a parallel between the flying saucers and the brutes, back in the day. But the thing is that when you shoot them down, the crew aboard is, forced out, But the saucers themselves can be shot down 3 times. They will actually recover on the ground, and in fact, they regenerate the energy that counts as their fuel. Combine this with the fact that their weapon has unlimited ammo, smashes builds like absolute crazy, and that they can pick up environmental objects and hurl them around like some Half-Life, shit. Yeah, I mean, wow. And the thing is, my whole victory at the end of this is courtesy of this ship you see me poaching right here. This flying hockey puck that shall soon be mine. Well, that was a little help with the railgun, because like I said, the railgun is my Excalibur, it's my ethos, it's my holy grail. So yes, I shot it down, I used 1 of its lives, because it has 3. So the 3rd time it's shot down, it ain't going back up. It's just dead. So now I have a flying saucer. In addition to so much more mobility on the map, and this, by the way, has seats for 4 additional players, so bring the whole squad. You only need 1 flying saucer. Granted, if you do actually manage to clinch 3 or 4, dear God, that is... no one would be able to build to defend themselves. It purely comes down to shooting them down before they blast the ever-loving fuck out of you. And that's kind of the problem, because the last players didn't shoot back. They literally just turtled and turtled and turtled until they actually ran out of fucking mats. And I'm just like... I've got no shield, my health's down to 70, I mean, like, a good hit right on me would probably end this, and they're just turtling. And I'm just like, dear God, this is what Fortnite has done to people. They just build. They don't know how to play a shooter. They don't know how to play, like, a Battle Royale proper without their building bullshit. And that's why I love the Flying Saucer and why it's probably not going to last. Play Fortnite now while you can, because it's going... all of this cool stuff is going away. There is no way Epic leaves this in. Because as we know, Epic always listens to all the wrong people. But... So yeah, I think... and that's another thing. In addition to dealing 30 points of damage, like, it's not super damaging to the player. 30 points isn't much, especially when you consider the rate of fire, but what it does to structures, what it does to structures is just so beautiful. And the knockback it does on players, like, I was bouncing them into the storm as often as I could, for obvious reasons, because you can do that. Now you can see, there is actually a lot to make this projectile less effective against a player in the open. I mean, this guy's swimming around. I don't know what he was doing. But here's the thing. The projectile is slow-moving. It only hits for 30 points of player damage. It only fires about once every 5 seconds or so. That's a lifetime in this game. But if you try to build your way out of a fight with one of these, you're gonna get totally fucked. Because you can't. Because this thing, anything in the build's blast radius is just annihilated. Period. So if you try to turtle, you're just going to get your mats totally run down, and then you've got nothing. Now, granted, when your mats run down, you're down to shooting, and you, of course, can totally do that, and that's what you should be doing, is shooting back. But I just love seeing players, use and abuse this game's mechanics, and emphasis on abusing this game's mechanics. And finally, there's something in the game that actually counters it. I mean, I know for a fact my channel has such a small reach, there's no way that anybody was listening to me when I talked about having a good counter for builds. But this certainly qualifies, along with the railgun. This definitely qualifies. So, we're seeing a lot of bots. Naturally, the last players are not, because they never are. Usually. Again, it's Oceania. It's not exactly like it would be late for them now either. It's late in the day for me, which means it's probably early morning for them. So, yeah, Oceania just doesn't have as dedicated a player base. I mean, hell, North America is losing a dedicated player base. Part of the reason you have so many people being snotty little shits on this game is because that's basically all that's left. Anybody with any sense is left. Still, missing the opportunity to goof around with shit like this would be unfortunate. I still don't know how much damage that thing deals when it actually hits something. I actually tried moving the nose cone of the crashed aircraft somewhere, because I could actually hide in that, even though it would be glaringly out of place to see the nose cone of the plane somewhere where it's not supposed to be. But I accidentally grabbed the wrong section of the plane and smashed the nose. Doesn't matter, hiding was not what I was doing at the end. Spamming was what I was doing at the end. Now, remember, this thing does have a limited a supply of energy for flight, but the thing is, it recharges when it lands, and the amount of flight time you have per full battery, for all intents and purposes, you can imagine this thing as having infinite energy, like infinite fuel. I mean, I suppose the whole reason of giving it a limited energy tank in the first place is to prevent players from skybasing using flying saucers, because that's something that has occurred to me as well. I mean, you let the storm get really, really nary, and then you just fire those projectiles down over and over and over again, hoping to knock whoever's below you out of position. I haven't tried that. I'm probably going to at some point, because, I mean, the saucers introduce a whole myriad of kind of cheap tactics, and that's why they might be a bit broken. But again, you can just shoot them down. That, of course, would be an issue if they're above your render distance. Of course, the render distance is much longer in the game now because of all the technical updates they've made. This guy right here, he had the railgun, which is why I immediately went after him, because it's like, oh, I need that. It's not even an issue of want, I need. And I wouldn't have even made it to the point where I got to spam this thing if I didn't have that railgun. You know, I do lament the fact that I did not get a chance to play Fortnite when the Brute was available, because I thought that, hell, that'd be a lot of fun. And that's the other thing, is that, like, okay, so the saucer is maybe a bit broken. Sure. Is it fun to use? Yeah. I mean, I've had players go up against me with saucers, I just shot them down, and then it turned into Fortnite as usual. Like I said, I don't understand why these last players just turtled in a building when I can just fire that cannon off ad infinitum. Means infinitely in Latin. Or to infinitely. Anyway. The point is that, like I said, this win was unbelievably cheap for me. And I give less than a fuck about how unbelievably cheap it was, because this game has been trying my patience for a very, very long time, and it's nice to actually have some fun playing it. It'd be even more fun if more of my friends were on. Because then we could really do some... Oh, if we got 3 of these... Oh, God, I'm just picturing it, the endless salvo of energy blasts. Oh. They're blue, too. You could even make a blue balling joke while you're doing it. I mean, look at this magnificence. Oh, yes. Yes, if my audio quality is poor, and I suspect it will be, I'm sorry about that, but I did not have as much set up this time. It's late. This was my last match for the night, and I just wanted to capture it immediately because I have a suspicion, given how well this works, it's going to be eliminated soon. And when they update it, I won't have a replay to show any of you, so I needed to do it now. Yes, this guy, if I remember correctly, actually managed to give me some proper but here's the thing. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's shooting. He's not just, you know, idly standing around. He's firing back. I mean, he's still turtling pretty hard. So he starts actually being kind of sweaty and building up really quickly. Of course, yep, there he goes. So, oh look, it's a sweaty player who knows how to play this game by its old meta. There's a new meta now, son of a bitch. So, in the end, I'm going to be combining the locator beacon with the railgun to actually tap him inside of whatever cover he's hiding behind. So, let's actually get a little bit of a view of this from his perspective, yeah? Because I have a funny feeling it's going to be interesting. Oh, don't use wood, man. Don't use wood. The railgun goes through that like a hot knife through your skull. And he doesn't even see it coming. Ooh, or maybe he did. And just didn't have time to move. So yeah, you know when someone's drawn a bead on you with the railgun, which prevents it from being completely broken, but yeah, it basically makes builds meaningless because you can just pop somebody in the head. If it's not metal, it doesn't actually protect you at all. Oh, now I did swap some of my wackier stuff for the more practical selection of an epic pump and a legendary scar. I wasn't passing that up. Ultimately, though, that's probably the last rifle shot I fired in this match. Now, I knew that wasn't going to hit him, but I just wanted... because he's running from the storm, and if I am able to actually get a shot in front of him, I'll bounce him back into it. And there he goes, right back into a high tick rate. And... yep. Yep. In all honesty, that was probably a bot. Okay, here comes the turtle guys. So this ultimately is a protracted bombardment. I mean, my perspective isn't even indicating what exactly is going on here, because I have a suspicion that they weren't quite able to hit me on account of lag. I am, again, playing in Oceania, so... Okay, they were shooting at me and it wasn't registering. Well, lag is Fortnite's problem, not mine. Again, just turtle, 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 turtle. But the thing is, he's gonna run out of mats. He's already down to stone. Now, the other guy fired, or tried to fire, an opportunistic rocket at me. I mean, look at this shit. He's not even breaking out to take a shot. He's just, literally just Turtle Boy. What the fuck? Stop building, you moron, and shoot at me. Wait, hang on. How's my health right now? Because I remember... Yeah, I've got very little... I mean, vehicle health is not perfect. I've got almost no shield. If he was, like, shooting at me right now, he might actually be doing something. But look at this bullshit. This is all the Fortnite sweats know how to do. And the thing is, this new meta takes it away from them. And for everyone who isn't one of these goddamn super sweats, this is the time to play, because you actually have a chance to make sweats suffer. At least build spammers. There are plenty of sweats who know how to shoot. And that was the end of that. Couldn't get the wall on in time. Or just ran out of mats. The fact that he thought he could even hit me with a rocket. Oh look! Second verse, same as the first. Now put me in a saucer so I can put him in a hearse. Why? Shoot back! Oh my god! It's just... This should be a syndrome. There should be a name for it. Yep, I'm trying to send him towards the storm. That second shot was not where I intended it to go. It's important to know these shots were actually lagging on my end, too. Oh, look, and there goes all the spam building, and it's not doing a damn thing. So yeah, he just made a shield hit. Cracked the ship's shields. I'm now no shields and less than full health, so he actually did a smart for a minute there, and then actually hid to heal. You know, stealth, gunplay, things that the sweats just don't seem to think Fortnite is all about. And he's in the storm. Look at that tick rate. That's what I was looking for. Is he out of mats? I mean, he's not building anymore, so maybe he either just... I got actually a friend request from this guy. I'm not accepting it, because, like, what in the hell are you even after, bro? Well, and that was the dub. That was the dub. Just the result of an unending salvo upon my enemy. Oh, thank you very much for watching this, although... Even if you haven't, well, actually if you haven't, you wouldn't be hearing this, so... There's a bit of an existential crisis for you. Which makes sense, Rick and Morty are in the game. Point is, however... Yeah, he just gave up at some point, because he realized that, like, it's over, I have no mats, this guy. So I swear he just stood there and sent the friend request like, you know what, you got it, you won, fine. In the cheapest way possible. Well, you know what, bro? Where's your flying saucer? That's another thing. It's not like I have the only flying saucer on the damn map. Where's yours? I mean, it clearly worked for me. There's nothing to stop it from working for you. It's not like it's a unique item. So yes, if at all possible, play Fortnite now before they patch this and ruin the fun. Because that was fucking fun. I hope you're all staying happy and healthy out there. And as always, fare thee well.